Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Because we're talking about Man City there. Carl is loving life as a Man City fan, Liverpool as well. Both had great wins in the Champions League midweek and both are absolutely flying in the Premier League. And we were chatting in the week, weren't we, about the difference between the top two and the rest of the Premier League, because those two teams are just on a completely different level. And we will be doing at the end of the season our team of the season, and a lot of people do that. And we do think it's going to be dominated by Man City and Liverpool players. So it got us thinking, who's the best of the rest? Trying to explain how this one's going to work.
Yeah, well, we thought because, like you said, Manchester City and Liverpool are going to dominate 99% of the actual team of the season in a couple of weeks. We kind of preempt it, and we do a team of the season based on the other 18 sides in the league. So a team of the season, not including any Manchester City and Liverpool players. We also set you the task of not including more than 2 players from a single club. So you can't just put all Chelsea and all Manchester
great point.
players in there, which you wouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
I know, absolutely.
Who would put 3 of one team in?
Who would do that? But you're going to have to try and decide on an 11 together. If you can't decide, then me and Smithy, as usual, will make a decision based on the argument made. Should we start with the goalkeeper? Let's start with the goalkeeper, because I think you might have an agreement over the goalkeeper early doors, right?
I'd say so. I think this is probably the first start, the probably only agreement in our list today.
I mean, I would say
fiery
so.
today, a little bit fiery. But Jose Sarr, I think, been the standout keeper in the Premier League. 83.1% save percentage this season. That's the best in Europe. But the big thing with his saves, he saved Wolves by a post shot. Expected goals model, 10.3 goals, which is the best in Europe.
And you know what? That was just about what Carl was about to say. The same thing.
I stole my answer right there, and I was going to add he's a great keeper. So,
there we go. What's the buy, by the way? 6.8 million Wolves paid for him.
I think that might be the buy of the summer.
Unbelievable.
In the Premier League anyway. Do you think that's a contender for the best signing of the season?
I think so, and I think you look at how much they actually spent and what they've got out of him for Wolves and for the future as well, what he can maybe do for them in the next few years. Yeah, he's had a great season, but they'll be hoping to build on that with Bruno Lage and just hoping that they can continue. So, yeah, that's the first name that jumped out. Best of the rest for me.
Okay, Wolves fans love him as well. I've been to a few Wolves games this season. They chant his name throughout, and he's 29 years of age. People say he's old, not old for a keeper. Got loads of years left in him. So, top keeper, right back. Who have you gone for?
We've actually got another one that I think we agree with.
Oh, hello. This is going well.
I mean, I've got to jump in and just start with this guy. There's the conversation around best right backs in England. Obviously, we know that we've got plenty of them. Kyle Walker, Trent Alexander-Arnold, but Reece James, for me, I think he'll be one that will be a mainstay at England for a very, very long time. That doesn't mean, Liverpool fans, that Trent won't be. He definitely will be involved as well. But I think with Reece James, he's slightly more versatile. We've seen in his career, he's played in midfield at Wigan. We've seen that he can play centre-back as well. I think that he'll be a mainstay, and I think you can't look at the work he does attacking and defending at times as well, but more the attacking side of things, what he offers. That's why I think he's best of the rest.
Can always play them both as well, for England. Don't forget, England often play with the back three and the wing backs as well. Trent likes going forward. If it's a good problem, you can fit teams around them.
Been talking about using him as a centre back.
Yeah,
going forward this week. Do you think that's a viable option? Because I know that he's been playing there recently with Aspi outside him, isn't it?
I think so, but you're losing that in attacking side of his game. 5 goals, 6 assists this season. But the interesting side, because of his injuries, he's on 0.69 goals or assists per 90. So we're looking at 2 goal involvements every 3 games. That for a right back or a right wing back is absolutely exceptional. You don't want to limit that in that centre back position. But if you want to fit both of them in, maybe you could play some sort of 4-4-2 variant where you've got one on the right wing, one in right central midfield, or Trent plays inside, or Reece James plays inside. I think you need both of them in there. They are both really good. It's difficult to say who's the best right back in the league. I think Trent is the best right back in the league, but James is the best right wing back. I think that's the differentiation we want to say there. I don't want to, throw Liverpool fans down the bus, and like you were saying before, that Trent is not as good as Reece James. But.
I was going to say though, stop taking my stats, please, mate.
And of course, don't forget for this, we can't have Man City or Liverpool players. So Kyle Walker and Trent Alexander-Arnold are not eligible. Therefore, Reece James is on the board.
You put that,
It's right side though. You've got to get him on. It's the right back.
No, it's surely your side.
Your side, mate. Yeah.
Come on.
Greatest stats to know he's left and right. There we go.
Let's go centre back next. Then let's go with the one that you've agreed on, or the first choice pick if you have agreed. Should we say?
Rudiger.
This is rogue though, because then you can't have any more Chelsea players.
Oh, this is very true, and this was that's difficult because
thinking of
I broke the rules. I picked 3 by accident: Reece James, Rudiger.
So who's your other centre back?
Craig Dawson.
So
you weren't happy with this, Dave. Let's be completely honest.
Who have you gone for, Dave?
Phenomenal season.
Dave, who are your centre back options?
Salisu and Rudiger.
So you've both agreed on Rudiger. So we could put Rudiger up, but then that would limit you and you wouldn't be able to select any more Chelsea players.
I think that's fair because of how good Rudiger's been this season for Chelsea.
Okay.
He's that one where you feel like when Chelsea are a little bit backs against the wall, he'll make a big tackle, he'll carry the ball out of the back, he'll fire a shot in from range. He seems to be that catalyst for Chelsea to really push forward. Look at the statistics. He's second for passes into the final third. He's top for carries into the final third. It's that type of impact for me that I feel Mason Mount has been brilliant. Don't get me wrong, he has been absolutely fantastic. But I put Rudiger as being one of the best centre-backs in the league. And that's
Do you also think in Mason Mount, because I think Mason Mount's had a brilliant season, but do you think there's a lot of competition for places in his position because of how many players have played well? But in the centre-back area, the fact that you've both agreed, you think he is... that there's less competition when you take Liverpool and Man City out of it in the centre-back areas for this?
Absolutely, and I think as well in midfield there is a lot of quality, like you mentioned. There's a lot of players who are going to go through it in a minute, and that's not disrespect to Mason. I would have Mason Mount if we could have 3, Carl, but we're not allowed 3.
Okay.
We're not like Man City, we have to stick to
Are you happy to put Rudiger in then?
I would be happy because of what he offers. And as you
Let's
said,
get him up.
I'd say he's one of the best centre-backs in the league, not just at Chelsea, so it's very
In
hard.
Europe, really. In
Yeah,
Europe, one of the best centre-backs in Europe.
And it'd be interesting to see where he goes in the summer because he has said that he won't be staying. I think that that'll be a huge buy.
Looking like Real Madrid, doesn't
Let's
it?
get him up and then we can talk about your other centre-back.
We'll put him as the left centre-back.
okay.
Well, let's debate this. So you've got Salisu and Ballon Dawson.
Yeah, there you are, Ballon Dawson right there. I mean, this guy, what he's managed to do this season, I think it's absolutely phenomenal at West Ham. They're having a great season themselves. He's scored some vital goals for them when they've needed him to. And I think that if you're looking at experience, imagine Rudiger and Craig Dawson together. Oh, dream partnership, let's be honest.
Question, who started for West Ham in the centre of the defence at the start of the season?
Right, okay.
Bonner and Kurt Zouma.
Yeah.
When the first choice, those are the first 2.
Then they got injured. Who stepped in?
This man, Salisu, best young defender in the league. A young defender, right? We say young defenders.
Best young defender, not just
because we have to
any
judge
defender,
them
any
differently.
position.
Best young defender, best centre half, I'd probably say actually. Best young centre half in the league. Centre backs are obviously quite a volatile position. There's a lot of pressure on there. You make mistakes when you're young. I think the raw materials that he's got in terms of how he reads the game, how he recovers his positioning, absolutely fantastic. And on top of that, in terms of pressures this season, he's been successful with 41.2%, which is the best record of any player. He's won more tackles than any other centre-back. Only Bednarek's made more interceptions. He's joint top at Southampton for passing into the final third. This guy is slept on massively.
I feel really sorry for Carl here because he really wants Dawson. But he's got so many stats. Carl's thinking, I don't have as many stats. I can't
argue with that
argue.
one. I'm not Statman Kyle.
So you're going to concede defeat, are you?
I do agree actually on some of those points. I'd argue about best young centre back because Konate, I would personally say, is the best young centre back.
Liverpool player.
No, I'm saying Mark Gay as well. I'm saying
I like Mark Gay. To be fair, he was the one I was considering.
But
even Christian Romero is still quite young.
Yeah.
And he's been pretty exceptional since he came in.
No, that's a fair point. Again, you've got 2 players in there that play for Spurs, so we've got them covered, Smithy.
I mean, because we've had 3 of my team already in there, I think we've got
Go
to have...
put him in then.
Strange, because so far we've got 4 out of 4 players I've picked.
Okay, left back.
Let's go left back then.
Right, for me, Tyreek Mitchell, another boy from Brent.
Great season.
Great season.
Yeah.
I think he's got an incredible future ahead of him as well. I think that Crystal Palace, what they're managing to do with some of the younger players that are coming through under Patrick Vieira as well, I think they've got a very special team. And I think if you looked at the table, you'd go, OK, they've had an all right season, but at times this guy has really stood out. And I
Broke into the England squad as well.
Exactly. He stood out so much that left-back position, yes, there's been injuries in the left-back position with maybe some of the starters at England, but he's grabbed that opportunity with both hands. And I think that for him, what he could do, what he's done this season, I think it'll propel him to even greater things next season.
Great argument, but, what's the best team outside the top 6 sides in terms of football?
You're going to say Brighton.
I'm going to say Brighton, correct. I've got a Brighton player here. Who's one of the most important Brighton players this season? Cucurella's gone massively under the radar. 2,401 touches of the football this season. He's the only player outside the top 6 sides that gets in there in the league. I think he's so important. Tactically, he's played at centre-half, he's played left-back, he's played left-wing. He's got that quality. And I think he's someone that we'll start to realise. 23 years old as well.
He's quite versatile, isn't he?
I love Tyreek Mitchell, but I think his game is very defensive on that side, whereas I think Cucurella can do both.
His best football in a back 3 on the wing back at times, isn't it?
We could play in a back 3 here. Look, we've got wing backs in here.
Don't see him very often in a back 4 because they don't play that way.
At times they do. They play diamonds. They play 4-4-2s this season. The flexibility is what we need for our team. Look, if we want a change in game.
I was going to say that if you're looking for a left back,
This is
and
your
you're talking about his versatility, and he hasn't always played solely left back. Kyle makes a valid point about the season that Tyreek Mitchell's having in the
And
position.
he's right up there tackle numbers, isn't he?
Yeah, no, his tackle numbers are very, very good. They're not quite Wan-Bissaka levels, but they are decent, they're high.
I'd look at him and say, I'm talking about this season, stand out. You'd bring him up first. I'd bring up Tyreek Mitchell before I'd bring up Cucurella in terms of outside the top 2 for left-backs. Personally,
different philosophy.
I think
I love the ball.
Yeah, I think
the
Kyle
ball.
might have this one. Do you think, Joe? Would you?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we happy?
Okay, there we
think
go.
so.
There we are.
Into midfield then.
So we're playing a 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
3
right,
in midfield.
yeah.
So who is the easiest pick for you? Maybe in the defensive role.
Got to be Declan Rice.
Has to be, doesn't
Has
it?
to be Declan Rice.
Can I just confirm, surely Declan Rice in your team as well, Kyle?
Right, so this was the difference. No, okay, because I did listen to the rules because I'd already put Craig Dawson in. There's another attacking player from West Ham that I wanted to put in. However, I did say...
You don't rate Declan Rice?
I actually tried to break the rules. Before I broke the rules by accident, I tried to break them on purpose by having Declan Rice in there. I was told, no, you're only allowed 2. Because Dave already had Declan Rice, I said, that's fine. I'll allow him. Declan, I'm sorry.
I think we need
mate.
to take Tyreek Mitchell off now because we can't respect Carl's opinions. Without Declan Rice.
No, I agree. He
Without
is in
Declan
there.
Rice.
I just chose...
Deckers.
Do you know, I did put him in there. This is my Declan Rice card right here.
I think we
Just
should
can't
have
see
Declan
it.
Rice up there. I think
Got
he's
to have
probably
Declan
first
Rice,
name on the
surely.
team.
No.
The disrespect.
Please don't make it about that. I was following the rules.
I was following the rules.
He
You got
goes
3
into my
Chelsea
team.
players.
He goes into my team.
Has to go in, doesn't he?
All
What a
day,
season he's had.
every day. I just also chose Craig Dawson, who didn't make it, and Jared Bowen. I'm going to throw it out there.
We're going to come on
reveal
to Jared
that.
Bowen in a bit, but what are the other 2 midfield options that we're debating? Do we have any agreements over any of them?
James Ward-Prowse, I think, is someone that there's some agreement with.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Great
So
season.
we'll throw James Ward-Prowse in.
Hard to not argue. We might have to put him.
Yeah, we might need to move it all.
Hard to argue that he's not currently the greatest set piece taker in the world, possibly.
Yeah,
Top
14 Premier League free kicks.
Yeah.
Only David Beckham has scored more with 18. The thing I like about James Ward-Prowse, I think goes under the radar, is how much he's got to his game as well. 276 crosses, 231 recoveries. He's also got 4 assists and 9 goals. So he actually does a bit of everything, James Ward-Prowse,
Smith.
doesn't he?
I know, yeah.
He
Top
does a bit of everything,
scoring
doesn't
centre
he?
mid in the league, top creating centre mid in the league. As we mentioned, free kicks,
Yeah.
penalties. I think his
Great player.
game's really improved in terms of how he comes and receives
Yeah.
and now kind of dictates a little bit more, less about just his energy. Now he's a real ball player. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Never injured either. He's always fit for Southampton, which is like, I think, a skill that is very underrated in football. Consistency. So we're
free
happy with
kicks.
James Ward-Prowse. We've got one more
100%.
midfield spot.
So who are you
to fill
debating
with
here?
3
So we've already got
potential
2
options.
Chelsea, so I'm going to take my other one out.
And that was Mason Mount, wasn't
That
it?
was Mason Mount. And
Wow.
I'm going to suggest Conor Gallagher.
Another that 4 Chelsea players.
On loan from Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at exciting young players, again, Crystal Palace, what they're doing, especially under Patrick Vieira as well, I think that Conor Gallagher this season has been a standout. I'm so excited for what he can do for the national side as well. All that competition in this position, Mason Mount himself.
Does he go to the World Cup for you?
No, I don't think he will.
Okay.
Just because of the competition that's there and maybe him being at Crystal Palace. I'd be really interested to see if he goes back to Chelsea in the summer or if he goes out on another loan. I don't think another season at Crystal Palace would do him any harm at all. So I think that for me, outside of top 2, he's one of those players that has stood out this season.
Who have you got, Dave?
Decent argument, but it's not Martin Odegaard. And I think Martin Odegaard's performances this season for Arsenal have been absolutely sensational. In the way that he controls the tempo, he links with Saka in the final third. I think he's just really stepped up. Captained Arsenal at times this season, shown his leadership qualities there. Stats-wise, he's top for chances created, shot creating actions for Arsenal. Progressive passes. He gives me a lot on the ball. I love what he's doing. He's back to the days where he's playing at Real Sociedad. He's back at that level, and I think he's massively underrated this season.
Not a lot in them. 8 goals and 3 assists for Gallagher this season, which is 11 goal combinations. For Martin Odegaard, 6 goals, 4 assists, so 10 goal combinations. So Gallagher, 1 more, so very tight.
Shane Mount's in there because 19 goal contributions.
I was going to say, yeah.
Kovacic, I think, is a shout for
Mason Mount, we've got to shout out Mason Mount. Only Salah, Robertson and Trent have more assists than Mason Mount in the Premier League this season. 10 goals, 9 assists. We've got to give Mason Mount.
Well, he would have made it if we could have 3 Chelsea players.
Yeah.
But
But not a lot in it. One goal difference in terms of goals and assists.
What are we picking?
What are we going with?
It's got to be Odegaard,
It's up
right?
to you guys. All I'm saying is...
I think it's actually Martin Odegaard.
Do you?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think
Ooh.
especially towards the back end of the season, his role development as a leader in that Arsenal side, taking up the captaincy, and I think he might be captain next season.
Even though Gallagher has one more goals and assists combined?
I think so. I think
Oh,
Martin Odegaard, if
interesting.
they get Champions League football, I think Martin Odegaard's been a huge part.
Okay.
Which
I
is
was
a
going
shock.
to say Gallagher, but I think two good players. I think Odegaard's had a fantastic season as well. So, happy to go with that.
Forwards then.
Tough one, that, wasn't it? That was a
Right
tough
wing.
one.
Let's start right wing.
all right.
I thought Carl might have had Gallagher there, you know. I thought that was a.
I thought he was going in. I'm a bit shocked.
We'll move on.
I'm not going
Let's
to say
move
you
on.
guys.
Because
We
we are
can't,
running out of
just have
time.
energy in midfield, though. We need some a little bit of finesse. And
It's on the once it's on the board. It's on the board.
That's
Let's move
it.
on to right wing.
Gallagher's got finesse as well. I'll just put that out there. I'm going to say Jared Bowen. And this is a very fluid front three. Very, very fluid front three from me. So they can all switch and interchange positions. Jared Bowen, I said it, I think on this show early on in the season, he will go to the World Cup. It's looking the chances and the odds are looking slightly slimmer just now, but I do think he'll definitely get an England call-up very, very soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Standout player for me. I think at times he's really dragged West Ham when they've needed goals, when they've needed the performances from some of the players. They've all come together, and this is one of those that has been at the kind of the top of that performance for West Ham.
Well, when Mikel Antonio went through that dry spell,
Yeah.
He was the one scoring the
Jared
goals.
Bowen basically
up.
carried the team
It's
through.
his
didn't he?
bicycle kick midweek as well. Oh, what a goal that would have been. So who have you gone with the front three then in terms of
So
competition
my
with Jared Bowen?
right-sided player is Saka.
Okay.
And I think
What's a player?
That's hard to argue with, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
11 goals in the league. Only Salah scored more from the right wing. The way that he's stepped up and improved as a footballer and what he gives this Arsenal team, he's basically their guy in the final third. You know, if Odegaard's linking it, Saka's providing that little extra spark at the last bit. But that's no disrespect to Jared Bowen because I think he's had a really good year.
Both
I
had
think
great seasons,
Saka
both of
is
them.
playing at such a high level.
Yeah.
He was Arsenal's March Player of the Month as
Yeah.
well.
Saka's got 11 goals and 5 assists. Bowen's got 9 goals and 8 assists. Not a lot in it.
Not at
This
all.
is a tough one, this.
I mean, what I'm basing this off is West Ham's season. I don't think that they're going to be in that conversation for top 4
Need a
anymore.
decision.
But then
Need a
Arsenal are
decision.
top 4, right? Arsenal are doing it.
Arsenal are
They will
currently
be
in
the
fourth.
team. I
Let's
think
go
they'll
Saka
be the
then.
team.
Okay, we're going Saka. Next two, is there anything that you agree on? Just
Heung-min Son.
I did not pick
You
Son.
didn't pick
I
Heung-min
didn't
Son?
pick Son. Neither
Wow.
of the two choices, Ivan Toney and Harry Kane, the joint top English scorers in the league. Yes, Ivan Toney's got 12. Harry Kane's got 12.
So Kane's in agreement, is it?
so Kane's in agreement.
You got Kane as well?
I've got Harry Kane, yeah, but system-wise, what are we playing?
I said it's very fluid.
So the one that you're
I said
agreeing on.
it's very fluid.
So you're now debating Heung-min Son. So just to put this in perspective, only Mo Salah has scored more goals than Son in the Premier League this season. 17 goals, 6 assists, and you're not putting Son in your team.
No, you're making me sound bad with Declan Rice and Son as well.
Declan
Pick
Rice
Rice
and
or
Son.
Son.
I was looking outside the box. You're focusing on the top 6. I'm focusing on the
I
entire
like
league.
the outside the box thinking, but it's got to be Son.
Look at what Brentford have done this season. Everyone said they're going to come up. They're possibly going to go down.
He's had a
That's
very
not gonna
good
happen.
season. He's had a very good season, Tony. 12 goals, 4 assists. Joe, I think you're the neutral. Who are you going to go with?
I mean, Tony pre-Ericsson was really struggling for goals. He's had an amazing last 2-3 months, but Son across the course of the season, when Kane was going through his dry patch, has just been the consistent figure at Spurs. I think he's probably your player of the season.
Yeah.
I would go for him in Son.
Okay, should we put Son on there? Because we want to do managers as well. Is he your pick, Son?
Absolutely, overperformed.
No
He's collected goals
Ronaldo.
by
No
4.
Ronaldo is all I'm saying.
Ronaldo nearly made mine.
No
but
Ronaldo.
When Ivan Toney scores a hat-trick against Manchester United on Monday night, eat your words. Eat your
I've got
words.
to say,
all of you,
I've got to say,
okay?
Tony's not a bad shout at all. I think Jared Bowen's unlucky to miss out. I think Conor Gallagher's very unlucky to miss out. Some good shouts here. Smith Rowe's played
Managers,
well. Ronaldo. But let's do managers. Who have you gone with?
You go for. I mean, it's your entire team, I think.
Basically, may as well get my manager as well, Mikel Antonio.
Next time Carl comes on, you have all the stats, isn't he?
Yeah, all right. Why Mikel Arteta?
Everyone thought it was all done. First game of the season, Brentford away.
First
They
3
struggled.
games.
They struggled. They had a few blips, but now the football very, very, very
Who
good.
have you gone with, Carl? We've got to
Eddie
quick this
Howe.
one. Oh,
I mean,
not a
yes,
bad
they have
shout.
spent a lot of money in January. We can't get away from that, but so many teams have done that in the past and they've not achieved what Eddie Howe has managed to achieve with this set of players. He's only been here half a season. I do understand that, but it looked like Newcastle were going down. It looked like until a few weeks ago they could have possibly still been in that conversation. This man has dragged them up.
9th in the league. They were 19th when he took over.
Exactly.
Incredible.
You can't argue with that.
Arsenal were going to get relegated at one point this season. Remember all the Arsenal fans nearly?
They were not getting relegated.
Mikel Arteta is now a top 4 manager. Eddie Howe, I agree, has been brilliant, but it's half a year.
Hang on, have we got
doing it the
two club position with the manager as well? Because we've got 2 Arsenal.
Got 2 Arsenal there. Don't give it me on a technicality. All right, I'm not taking that out of pity.
Should we go Eddie Howe? Got 2 Arsenal. Should we go Eddie Howe?
I think Eddie Howe, what he's managed.
Shows the neutral. He's gone with that.
West Ham, David Moyes deserves a shout in there as well. But
yeah, I think that's a good shout.